Marquis Wagers. I am Joe Marquis. Today is Saturday, December 16th, 2023. I am going to preview 7 of the 11 games on the Sunday slate. It was a busy day today, trying to find time to do all the research while I was watching the 3 Saturday games. The first game I reviewed was the Chicago Bears at the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are favored by 3 and the game total is set at 37.5. They are expecting there to be rain with temperatures in the high 40s and winds expected to hit about 14 miles an hour. The Bears have won 2 of 3, while the Browns have lost 2 of 3. I was leaning towards the Bears, but I decided to play an alternate spread of plus 3.5 to get it over a field goal. The Bears look like they have turned a corner, and I would not be surprised if they win this outright. The Browns have given up 29 or more points in each of their last 3 games. Both teams like to run the ball, so weather shouldn't affect their preferred game plans. But 37.5 for the game total is just too low. I'm going to play the over. One of the areas the Browns have really been struggling with has been opposing teams' tight ends. I'm going to play Cole Kmet to exceed both of his receiving props of 3.5 receptions and 36.5 yards. Kmet has exceeded both of these numbers in 4 of his last 5 games. The second game I previewed is the Battle of the Bays. Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Green Bay Packers. The Packers are favored by 3.5 and the game total has been set at 42.5. There's a chance of rain with temperatures expected to be in the low 40s with winds expected around 8 miles per hour. Both of these teams have been inconsistent all year. They've both won 3 of their last 5 games. Both teams have won games we thought they would lose, and they've both lost games we thought they should win. I'm just going to stay away from the side as well as the game total. Instead, I'm going to play the Buccaneers to exceed their team total of 19.5. The Packers have given up this many points in 3 of their last 4 games, and the Bucs have scored at least this many in each of their last 3 games. If you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I've been all over the Rachaad White props this year. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to play him to exceed his rushing yards prop of 73.5 yards. He has gone over this number in each of his last 3 games. The Packers have been struggling to stop lead rushers of late. They've given up an average of 89 yards rushing per game against the other team's lead running back. The Buccaneers have the 29th worst pass defense in the league. The Packers are going to try and attack them through the air. I'm going to play Jordan Love to exceed his pass attempts prop of 34.5. He has exceeded this number of attempts in 2 of his last 3 games. The third game I previewed is the Kansas City Chiefs at the New England Patriots. The Chiefs are favored by 8.5 and the game total has been set at just 37. This makes the spread 23% of the game total. The temperatures are expected to be in the mid-40s with a small chance of rain and almost no wind. I was very tempted to take the points with the Pats, but this is going to be an angry Chiefs team coming off 2 losses in a row. I am going to take the Pats, but I'm going to take them in a teaser to get it to 14.5. You can see the rest of my teaser at the end of the video. So by now everyone has seen the play where Kadarius Toney was lined up offside and the penalty brought back a potential game-winning touchdown. However you may feel about it, I think the Chiefs are going to want to show faith in him and show faith in him early. I am going to play Toney to exceed his receiving yards prop of 13.5. Bill Belichick has been doing this a long time. He knows his best chance to win this game is to keep Mahomes off the field. The best way to do that is to run the ball and eat up the clock. I'm going to play Elliott to exceed his rush attempts prop of 17.5. Interestingly enough, the only sportsbook I could find this prop for Elliott was on FanDuel. Neither DraftKings nor Bet365 had rush attempts for Elliott. They had rush attempts for other players, but not Zeke. The Pats had lost 5 games in a row before they stunned the Steelers last week in Pittsburgh with a 21-18 win. They really seem to respond to Zappe at QB. The team total for the Pats is set at 13.5. That's just too low. I'm going to play the Pats to exceed their team total. The Chiefs have given up at least that many in their last 7 games. The fourth game I reviewed was the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favored by 5.5, and the game total is set at 39.5. This game is indoors, so weather will not be a factor. The Giants have won 3 games in a row, and the Saints have lost 3 of their last 4. Based on how both of these teams have been playing, I feel like this spread is too big. 3 sounds like a more reasonable number. I'm going to play the Giants to cover the 5.5. The Saints have a bunch of skilled position players on the injury report, so I'm just going to stay away from any of their props. Instead, I'm going to focus on the Giants side. Barkley is still the key to this offense. His running and the threat of his running just opens up everything else for him. I'm going to play Barkley to exceed his rushing yards prop of 66.5 yards. The Saints have just not been as good at stopping the run as they were earlier in the year. I thought about playing DeVito's rushing prop. He hit over 70 yards last week, but I decided not to. The Saints defense probably sees that zone run a lot in practice with Taysom Hill, so they're going to be better prepared to stop this play than the Packers were last week. I do feel like DeVito has a real connection with Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm going to play Robinson to exceed both of his receiving props of 3.5 receptions and 31.5 yards. He exceeded this in 2 of his last 3 games. These are 2 of my higher dollar prop bets. The 5th game I previewed was the Washington Commanders at the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are favored by 6.5, and the game total is set at 50.5. This game is indoors, so weather will not be a factor. This is a game that I think could get out of hand. It has a lot of the same conditions as the Chargers game on Thursday. This team has underperformed, their coach is clearly on the hot seat, and they have essentially been eliminated from the playoffs, and they're playing on the road. I just don't know how motivated they're going to be against a Rams team that is fighting to maintain their playoff position. I'm going to play the Rams to cover the 6.5 points, and for fun, I may even look to play an alternate line of at least 14 points. Along that same line of thinking, I'm also going to play the Commanders to go under their team total of 22.5 points. The Rams have kept their opponents under this amount in 4 of their last 5 games. The Commanders have the absolute worst pass defense in the entire league. The Rams are just going to throw the ball a lot in this one. I have 3 receiving yardage props I like the most. I'm going to play Higbee to exceed his yardage prop of 25.5. I'm going to play rookie Puka Nacua to exceed his receiving prop of 66.5. And I am going to play Cooper Kupp to exceed his receiving prop of 72.5. The 6th game I previewed is the highly anticipated game between the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. The Bills are favored by just 1.5, and the game total is set at 49.5. Now, weather will be a factor in this one. The temperature is going to be in the mid-40s, but there is definitely going to be rain and potentially 15-mile-an-hour winds. Now, the Cowboys have won 5 in a row, and the Bills have won 2 of their last 3, including last week against the Chiefs in Kansas City. I can see this game going either way, so I'm going to stay away from a side. I do think the game total is too high, though, considering the weather. I'm going to play under 49.5 on the game total. The only other wager I have on this one is for Josh Allen to exceed his rushing prop of 33.5 yards. In this weather, with Dallas's defensive rushing prowess, I think Josh is going to tuck and run often, and he's just not easy to bring down. The final game I previewed was the Baltimore Ravens at the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Ravens are favored by 3, and the game total is set at 41.5. Temperatures are expected to be in the high 50s, and there is a slight chance of rain, but they are expecting high winds around 19 miles an hour. The Jags have lost 2 games in a row. The Ravens have won 3 games in a row. Both teams are in first place in their respective divisions. Now, the Jags defense is 4th best at stopping the run, and the Ravens offense is the best in the entire league at running the ball. Something's got to give. I'm not sure how it's going to shake out, and the wind is another monkey wrench into trying to determine the game script and the eventual winner. So I'm going to stay away from both the side and the game total. With bad weather, I feel like shorter throws in the middle of the field is the most likely way both teams will attack the other one. These type of throws normally go to the tight end. So I'm going to play Evan Ingram to exceed his receiving yards prop of 47.5. I'm also going to play the Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely to exceed both of his receiving props of 3.5 receptions and 32.5 yards. When not throwing the ball in the middle of the field, the Ravens, they're going to try to run the ball. I'm going to play Keaton Mitchell to exceed his rushing yards of 45.5, as well as his rush attempt prop of 9.5. My Sunday teaser is a 4-team 6-point teaser using all underdogs. I teased the Patriots, Jets, Giants, and Texans. This brings them to Patriots plus 14, Jets plus 15, Giants plus 11, and the Texans plus 9. Came in at plus 260, and I put a good amount on this one. So I have 27 wagers on these 7 games. I tried to play my usual parlay with all of these, but for some reason I couldn't get it to work on DraftKings. At first it said I couldn't play more than 20 picks, which I've never ran into before. And then after that, the option to play the whole thing, even with the 20 picks, just went away. So it got a little frustrating after entering all of those picks. So I'll take a look at it again in the morning and see if I can make it happen. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, Joe Marquis Wagers, and good luck on all of your wagers on Sunday.